the fact that why process models emerge in software engineering. So why do we even need a process? The teams needed clear shared plan because making large software became too big and complex to handle alone. So you cannot handle all of the big complex software on your own. That's why you need a clear shared plan to make large software. And it's too complex to handle on your own. Building a doghouse can be done without a plan, but building a skyscraper requires massive team and flow and strict shared blueprint, and that's pretty much obvious. Then what is the difference between a procedure model and a process model? So process has everything in it. It is everything. Procedure, this is a process, this is procedure. So process has everything. Procedure plus, but the process and the project management side. For example, a procedure model just lists the steps to take. This is what the procedure does. While a process model adds company rules, team roles, quality checks to those steps. These things, company rules, like it's project management related things added to it. So a procedure model is a single cooking recipe, whereas a process model is managing the entire restaurant kitchen staff and safety inspections. Now, what are the three general types of procedure models? They are linear, one step after the another, linear, parallel, steps happening at the same time, and iterative, one after the other. Or repeating steps in loops, that's the right word for iterative. Then linear is assembly line, parallel is boiling pasta while making the sauce as well. And iterative is writing a rough draft and editing it three times. So you can write a rough draft and edit it 3 times, loop. So what is code and fix, advantage and disadvantage? It means coding right away without a plan. It feels fast at first, but ends up causing messy code, bad teamwork, and very expensive rewrites. An example for that would be trying to build a house by just stacking bricks randomly. It feels productive on day 1 basically, but it fails down on day 3. Now, describe the waterfall model. It is a strict step-by-step model that flows straight like a one-way street, making it very hard to go back to earlier steps. For example, just like a literal waterfall, the water or project work cannot flow backwards. It only drops down just like the waterfall. Then you can discuss the waterfall model based on quality, customer maintainability, and cost time. It results in a low quality, of course, unhappy customers, and hard tracking times because testing happens too. So a down for that, and because testing happens too late. And then of course cost is also not good. So we have all of these down for waterfall. Filming an entire 2-hour movie before letting the director read the script or see any of the footage. That's what waterfall is. So now describing a Bohemian's V model. And it is a V-shaped model where the left side of the plans encodes the system and the right side tests each matching planning step. Meaning, folding a piece of paper in half, every design document on the left side has a mirror image testing phase on the right side. So everything here is a testing phase. Everything here you can make just like you make a paper and you folded it in half. Everything you did here on the right hand side would be the testing side of it. So what is the difference between verification and validation in V model? Verification checks if the software matches the written plan, while validation checks if it actually helps the user in real world. For example, verification asks, did we build the car exactly to the blueprint? Validation asks, does the customer actually want to drive it? We did it right. So validation asks, does the customer actually want to drive it? Does he even want to drive it? So verification checks if the software did we build the car exactly to the way we wanted? Did we did it the right way? And did we did the right thing? Like, does the customer actually want to drive it? Does he even want to drive it? And this is the right thing. So did we do the right thing? Does the customer actually want to drive it? Or maybe it would be better to say, did we do it rightly? Quality, maybe. Validation is more about if it helps the user in real world. Just think about that. Validation, if it really helps the real world. So if it really works. If it doesn't even work, yeah, so did we do the right thing? Are we doing the right thing? That's verification. Are we doing the right thing? And validation is like, does it really work in the real world, the quality wise? So what is the W model? It doubles the V model by adding a second track to prepare tests at the same time you plan and write the code. So teacher writing the final exams questions on the same exact day they write the textbook chapters. So it's like saying that, like for example, it's like adding a second track so you can prepare tests at the same time you plan and write the code. So you're writing the code while you're also doing the tests. It's just like saying that a teacher is writing the final exam questions the same day that they're writing the textbook chapters. For example, when they're writing the syllabus or writing their lectures, they're also making the exam. That's the W model. Now you can discuss the V or W model. They give good quality and clear cost by planning tests early, but the customer still waits too long to see the real software. So planning the perfect beach vacation for a full year, but not knowing if you actually like the sand until you finally arrive. So they give you good quality and clear cost, but customer still waits too long to see the real software. They don't really get to see it so quick. Now, what is the V model XT? We need to differentiate between that versus the V model 92 and 97. So it is an updated German standard that removes rigid old rules so teams can change and fit the model to their specific project. Instead of glued together model car, it is a box of Lego bricks where the team only uses the pieces they need for their specific build. So it's a box of bricks of Legos that are already made, so team can only use the pieces that they need for their specific build. Now we can discuss the V model XT. It keeps the quality is high, but it requires far too much paperwork and is way too complex for small teams. So having to fill out 50-page government compliance form just to get local liability card, that's what V model XT is. And what is a unified process, a UP, and why was it developed? It was developed for object-oriented coding as a repetitive growing process built on four main phases and work loops. So building a new city by laying the main roads first, then circling back to add neighborhoods and building over time. Now, what are the four phases of UP? So the four phases are: get the idea first, plan the setup, build the system, and hand it over to users. So dream it up in inception, draw the blueprints, elaboration, lay the bricks, construction, and hand it over the keys, that's transition. So these are the four different phases. So inception, elaboration, construction, and transition. These are the four phases of UP. And we know what they means. Inception is like to dream it up, get the idea, draw the blueprints, elaboration, lay down the bricks, construction, and hand it over to the keys and give it to the user. And what are the four basic concepts of UP? So when we're talking about concepts are timed phases, core work tasks, repeating working loops, and step-by-step software updates. Now think of them as project phases. Daily cures, workflows. Weekly routines are iterations, and monthly feature drops are increments. So these are four basic concepts of UP. Time, this, and this. For example, we have time phases like seasons, project seasons. We have core work tasks, daily cures, workflows like daily. We have core daily work tasks. Then we have repeating loops, weekly iterations. Weekly, daily, season based. Winter, summer, like depends on the season, the project season. different phases. Phase 1, quarter 1, based on the whole quarter 1, the cycle of the months. And then we have monthly drops and monthly step by step software updates. These are monthly feature drops increments. Now we can discuss up. It delivers high quality, of course. It delivers good customer good customer feedback and clean code by testing early and focusing heavy on the system setup. Now, building and testing a car engine to make sure it runs flawlessly before spending any money painting the doors. So you spend a lot of money testing the car engine and everything, and you don't even spend any money painting the doors yet. So it's very high quality driven, good customer feedback and clean code by focusing heavily on good system setup. Now, what is an agile manifesto? We need to name 4 core values. It values people over tools. So working code over heavy paperwork, teaming up with customers over strict contracts, and changing fast over sticking to a plan. These, for example, having a direct, honest conversation with your partner to solve a problem instead of writing them a formal legal contract. These are like core values of Agile Manifesto. So, we're valuing people over tools, working code over heavy paperwork, teaming up with customers over strict contracts, and changing fast over sticking to a plan. These are the 4 Agile Manifesto. So, we prefer people over tools first. Secondly, we working code over heavy paperwork. We don't go for heavy paperwork, we go for a working code. Then teaming up with customers over strict contracts. So we team up with customers and we have strict contracts. Then we have changing fast over sticking to a plan. So we change fast rather than just stick to one plan. What is the extreme programming, XP, and why extreme? It is a coding style that takes good habits like daily testing, talking, and checking code and turns them into an absolute highest level. For example, taking the smart idea of checking your work for typos and doing it every 5 minutes instead of 5 days. So that's extreme programming. That's XP. Highly communicative, good habits like daily testing, talking, and checking code. Now we need to name the 12 XP practices. They are planning games, small releases, fast combining, shared code, pair coding, neat. These are the 12 practices of XP. Planning games, small releases, fast combining, shared code. We do pair coding, we do neat standards, we do unit tests, we do code cleaning, we do simple design, and we do on-site client, normal hours, and simple metaphors. The example would be 2 pilots flying one plane together. That's pair programming, while taking directly to passenger on-site client to ensure a safe, clean flight. These are the different practices of XP. Now, explain pair programming in detail. Advantages. 2 coders use one screen. One types while other checks for mistakes. It catches bugs fast and shares knowledge, but costs more money upfront. Like driving a rally car, one person steers the wheel while other person reads the map and watches for the hazard ahead. Now we need to discuss XP and Scrum together. They provide great quality and happy customers through constant testing, but they lack long-term paperwork and fail on giant projects. For example, a jazz band improvising a perfect, beautiful song together, but because they didn't write down the sheet music, they might forget how to play it next year. So they both provide great quality and happy customers through constant testing, but they lack long-term paperwork and fail on giant projects. What are the 4 characteristics of Scrum? It is flexible, agile framework based on real-world learning, very few rules, and strong team values. For example, so this we have, and this we have. It's a flexible, agile framework that's based on real-world learning and very few rules and strong team values. So a sport playbook that only has three basic rules, relying entirely on team's ability to communicate and react to the live game. When is Scrum appropriate? Stacy Metrics idea. So it is best for messy unknown projects where you do not fully know what to build and how the tech will work yet. So inventing a brand new, never before seen medical device where you have to constantly experiment and adapt to see what actually works. It is best for messy unknown projects you don't know, where you don't fully know what to build or how tech will work yet. You get what I mean? For example, in brand new, it never is seen before. Nobody knows. It's a brand new idea. And it's a medical device where you have to constantly experiment and adapt to see what actually is working and what's not. Now, what's the empirical process control? What are its three pillars? It is a way to manage messy projects using three pillars, for example. Keep work visible, check it often, and change course quickly when needed. So driving safely in heavy fog keeps your headlights on, visibility. Watch the road closely, inspection, and steer quickly if an animal jumps out, adaptation. So you adapt accordingly. You inspect, you look the road closely, you keep your headlights on, visibility. Now name the three Scrum roles. The product owner owns the goal and money. The Scrum Master clears away work blockers, and the team builds the software. So for example, the movie producer who funds the film, owner, that's the owner. The director who keeps the set running smoothly is the master, and the actors who perform the work is the team. So these are the three different roles. For example, there's a Scrum Master. He's the director who keeps the set running smoothly and clears away work blocks, and team builds the software. The movie producer who funds the film is the owner, and the actors who perform the work are team. Now we need to name three Scrum artifacts plus two supporting. So the main three are the big idea list, the current sprint list, and the finished code piece. So the finished code piece backed up by the finished rules and passing checks. So these are the three, this one, and this one. Backed up by finished rules and passing checks. So the three artifacts of Scrum are big idea list, the current sprint list, and finished code piece. Backed up by finished rules and passing checks. The master holiday wish list, product backlog, this weekend's shopping list, sprint backlog, this weekend's shopping list, and the wrapped present you handed over increment. This is the increment. Now we have to name the 5 Scrum events. They are sprint itself, sprint planning, the short daily check-in, the sprint review demo, and the retrospective look back to improve. So the football game itself, the pre-game huddle, the quick halftime check, showing the highlights, like what the highlights, and the post-game analysis in the locker room. So they are sprint itself, this is the first one, Scrum events, sprint planning, second one, third one, fourth one, and the retrospective. So sprint itself, the football game itself, sprint planning, the pre-game huddle, the quick halftime check, short daily check-in, the sprint review showing the highlights, and the retrospective look back to improve, the post-game analysis in the locker room to improve. So now we name 5 Scrum values. We also have Scrum values. So the 5 team values are commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage. So having the courage to tell your boss a feature is broken and trusting your teammates to help you fix it with respect. This is extremely important. Now, what is Kanban and where does it come from? It comes from Tokyo car factories and uses a pull system where new work only starts when the next person is totally ready for it. So grocery store shelf. A stock boy only brings out more apples when a customer actually takes one from the display. What are the 6 core practices of a Kanban in knowledge work? So they are: visualize work on a board, limit open tasks, manage the flow, make rules clear, use feedback loops, and keep improving together. So visualize work on a board, limit open tasks, manage the work, make rules clear, use feedback loops, and keep improving. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are the 6 core values. Using colorful sticky notes to make a tasks from to do column across a whiteboard to a done column so everyone sees the progress. So we visualize work on a board, we limit open tasks. We don't say that everything is open, we limit them based on what actually is open. We manage the workflow, we make rules very clear, we use feedback loops, and we keep improving together as a team. Why limit work in progress? Doing too many things at once causes huge traffic jams in work. Limiting tasks forces people to finish old jobs before starting new one. So a highway traffic jam using a ramp meter to let fewer cars onto the highway actually allows everyone already on the road to drive faster. So this is also, of course, clear. Then we need to just discuss the Kanban. It offers high visibility and easy code updates by showing work jams, but the team has to invest and add their own quality testing rules. So for example, a dashboard warning light that clearly tells you the engine is too hot, but the driver still has to manually figure out how to cool it down. That's Kanban. Now let's look at all of the process models quickly and their names. So with code and fix, no structure, sequential phases, strictly and alternating loops of 2 activities, coding, correction. Add locks, back to coding, repeat. So coding, correction, code, fix, repeat, code and fix, that's it. There's nothing more. With a waterfall model, it's a strict sequence of phases: software analysis, software specification, architecture design, fine granular design and implementation. Number 5, integration and test. Number 6, deployment and acceptance. Number 7, operation and maintenance. Let's do it again. Number 1, system analysis. Number 2, software specification. Number 3, architecture design. Number 4, fine granular design and implementation. Number 5, integration and test. Number 6, deployment and acceptance. Number 7, operation and maintenance. With the V model, Bohem's V model, we have left side descending and right side ascending. So we have 2 sides like this, like a V going like this, where we have on the left hand side, we have all of this going down. So the first is requirements definition, rough draft, detailed design, module specification, and coding in the last. Then we have on the right hand side module test, integration test, system test, acceptance test. This is on this side. Now, expanding the V model by running test preparation in parallel to development core cycle, we have a W model. It expands the V model by running test preparation parallel to the development. While developing, it runs the test. The core are prepare test, develop, perform test, and debug. These are the 4 things. With V model XT, a document heavy, it's very document heavy, built around sequential milestones, decision points. So project approved, project initiated, requirements specified, overall system designed, iteration planned, the same thing. System designed, unit realized, system integration, integrated, delivery executed, acceptance, coordinator or project completed. So this is for the V model XT. Then we have for UP, there are 4 sequential phases where workflows overlap with different entities. So for example, we have inception, product idea, feasibility, rough requirements. Then we have elaboration, refined vision, elaborated core architecture. When you have construction, implementation, it actually integrating it, testing and transition, delivery, piloting, stabilization. Then we have extreme programming, XP, no traditional linear phase, instead the extreme implementation of continuous development practices. So for example, there is no traditional linear phases. It is high frequent short increments plus continuous integration. So then we have Scrum. It is an empirical agile framework organized into recurring events, sprint planning, sprint itself, the actual development loop maximum 4 weeks, daily Scrum, daily standing meetings within the sprint, sprint review, product demo and feedback, sprint retrospective, process reflection and adaptation. So this is aftermath. So this is the product demo and feedback, and this is the process reflection and adaptation with mistakes. So this is sprint retrospective. Then we have a Kanban, a continuous flow system tracking visual cards across workflow columns. So with Kanban, we have a backlog, we have analysis, we have development, we have test, and we have ready for release. These are the 5 phases of a Kanban. That's it.